What's good, guys? This week, the first ever photos of Venus's glowing surface, how lizard tails stay on, the price of sex and diamonds, the Maajid Nawaz controversy, and outlawing animal murder in shelters. Look at the first ever visible light photos we have of Venus's surface. Venus is covered by a thick cloud of sulfuric acid, but NASA's Parker solar probe managed to pierce through to show a planet so hot that it glows, sort of like a red hot iron. The pattern of bright and dark that you see is basically a temperature map. Brighter regions are hotter and darker regions are cooler. The telescope wasn't able to take photos during Venus's daytime because it was far too bright, so it took these images at night. Like this video if you're excited about NASA's next two missions, Da Vinci Plus and Veritas, headed to Venus over the next few years. Lizard tails. How the f*** do they stay on? I mean, we all know that some lizards drop their tail as a defense mechanism, but if they can come off, how do they stay on? A recent report published in Science explains that lizard tails strike a fine balance between being too loose and being too sturdy, and that this balance is maintained by a series of segments. Each segment of a tail contains 8 cone-shaped muscles that function like a plug that slips into a corresponding socket. Nanopores help the plugs adhere, but not too tightly. Now, this balance is important because having a drop tail is a costly defense mechanism that affects a lizard's ability to run, leap, mate, and escape future predators. So it's important that the lizard abandons its limb only when it's necessary. Diamonds aren't forever, and neither is your love. This is the title of our evolutionary biology teacher Rob Brooks's latest article in Quillette. Why are humans so obsessed with big, shiny, and expensive diamonds? We use them to show our love, but just like relationships, diamonds can be damaged and destroyed. In his article, Rob shows the similarities between the exclusivity of diamonds and the exclusivity of sex. If something is deemed a precious or scarce resource, it's more expensive. But according to Rob, the price of sex is going down. As society has become more relaxed about sex, sex becomes less scarce and therefore cheaper and more accessible. If you're interested in evolutionary biology, check out our course taught by Rob himself at the link in our bio. Maajid Nawaz. How does his name make you feel? Thinking and Maajid go way back. We produced his film with Sam Harris, Islam and the Future of Tolerance, which you can find at the link in our bio. And we toured him across Australia in 2016. Maajid is a really smart guy, and while he became known for his discourse on religion, he is now associated with his criticism of vaccine mandates and big government. He recently went on the Joe Rogan Experience, where he talks about his experience of being a young radical Islamist and being tortured in an Egyptian jail, amongst many other topics. Some report that the podcast was removed from Spotify, apparently due to COVID misinformation. And we want to know, did you listen to the podcast, and do you think that it's possible to truly appreciate someone for some of their beliefs whilst disagreeing with the other core ones? Let us know in the comments. No more euthanasia in animal shelters. Euthanasia is something that happens a lot in Australia, although shelters don't have to report on the exact figures. Just last year, there was a massive outcry when Berkshire Council euthanized 15 puppies, despite at least 2 rehoming services offering to take them. Partly in response to cases like this, the New South Wales government recently passed a bill that would prohibit the convenient murder of animals inside shelters. It requires that councils take certain steps towards rehoming a seized or surrendered animal before euthanasia, which is something that the RSPCA and we say is a massive win for animal welfare. Okay, that's all for this week, but don't forget that we've got 2 very interesting courses coming up, an introduction to moral philosophy and politics as the new religion, both at Thinking Academy. Sign up at the link in our bio, and until next time, take care.